Hello, I'm Terry with La Dolce Audio, and welcome to our new type of videos. We're going to make these short videos, quick and to the point, so that you can get a quick answer to maybe what the video is about. This video is about, do open baffles work in smaller rooms? Quick answer, yes. But to get them to work in smaller rooms, you need a couple of things. One, room treatment, right? And two, the drivers in the open baffles need to have pretty good dispersion. In other words, they need to be near hemispherical on the front side of the baffle. And the backside matters, but not as much. The backside matters because that gives you the sound stage, but if you're using some sound treatment on the backside, then you can control that. The difficult thing is this. The bass in an open baffle uses the room quite a bit. As a result of that, you're going to struggle to get good bass if you over-treat the room. So to put an open baffle in a smaller room, it needs to be able to mimic, to a degree, the ideal speaker. Now, I talked about this in our Open Baffle series of videos, but I'll just say it real quick. If you had 2 points out in space, let's say 1 inch, maybe 2 inches in diameter, and these 2 points in space were omnidirectional sound in all frequencies from 20 hertz up to 20,000, that would be the near ideal speaker. We can't get that. Nobody can. But you can get close, or you can mimic it to some degree. How do speakers do this? Well, they use various things in order to make the sound appear to come from one point. One way is MTM, mid-range treble, mid-range tweeter, and mid-range. So that makes all the sound, because of the 2 mid-ranges above and below the tweeter in a vertical alignment, that makes all the sound appear to come from the tweeter, or the tweeter area. It's kind of like stereo upon stereo effects, you could say. So that's one way. And then if you wanted to broaden that out, then you could put woofers on each side as well. And that'll mimic that point source. Problem with putting those woofers on top and below, and the mid-ranges on top and below when it comes to open baffles, is then you're getting a lot of room interaction in a lot of places that may not benefit you because of the back being open and all those reflections back there just intermingling behind. And that's another subject for another video. So, do open baffles work in smaller rooms? Yes, they can. It's just how you treat them. If you want to know how to treat them, then you can go more into the deep dive into that in my Open Baffle series and what it talks about with regards to them. So, that's how you get an open baffle speaker to work in a smaller room. An open baffle, we make, at La Dolce Audio, we make this 10-inch coaxial, which will work. It's better if you have the 10-inch in its own baffle, and then on top of it, a horn with a lens, like we make our small horn lens with a 1-inch driver, and that lens then will give you the same sort of hemispherical wavefront as that woofer, of that 10-inch woofer. And that, just those two combined, you're going to get a little below 50 hertz all the way up to nearly 20,000 hertz. And it's a nice little combination. It works really well. With speakers, though, you just have to know this. Size does matter. Now, with regards to that, how do you get a speaker in an open baffle to mimic that point source sound? Well, a lot of it's relative. It's relative to the wavefront. It's relative to how wide range the drivers are in your baffles. And so the bigger the room, the easier it is to get that effect. And so the easier it is to get all the soundstage and imaging effects that speakers have to offer. Likewise, in most home environments, it's easy to get that mimicking, or that ideal speaker mimicking, by simply using smaller speakers, right? Because it's getting closer to that little size of point source. So that's another way to do it. But to get certain things from speakers, immersive sound, engaging sound, and things like that, size does matter. And there's all kinds of reasons for that we're not going to get into in this video, but we'll get into other videos as to why does size matter with speakers. But this video is all about, can open baffles work in a smaller room? Yes, any size room. It could be a closet and you could make them work. You simply have to understand how to adjust the room acoustics so that they're mimicking that 2-point source speakers, the ideal speakers. And that's it.